You may or may not know that I've been making a Plants vs. Zombies game engine on Scratch for the past 1.5 months. Well, a week or two ago I found another Plants vs. Zombies recreation on YouTube. It has less content than mine, but it has better visuals and it's a bit less buggy. Instead of saying it's super bad because I'm slightly jealous he has less bugs than me, I thought I would instead rank every plant he added that isn't from another Plants vs. Zombies game. Starting off with Freeze Nut, it's a walnut that kills zombies which try to eat it. If that isn't already good enough, when it's eaten, it freezes any zombies touching it. This plant is great because when they break through, you have time to react because all the zombies that are there are frozen. Next up is Prickly-Pult. He's kind of like an expensive kernel pult. Prickly-Pult throws prickly pears at zombies. The pears act like an Endurian. It's a wall that spikes the zombies. It throws them quite slowly and doesn't deal a lot of damage, so you probably shouldn't use them as your main attacker like I did in this clip. The next plant is Ambush. This plant kind of sucks. What it does is do damage to the zombie with the most health on screen. Sounds good, right? In practice it fails. Ambush costs 200 sun, but it barely does any damage. It's also really bad at killing zombies because it only works well with a small group of zombies. If a zombie is about to get to your house, then Ambush won't care and instead go for a Gigantor or Buckethead at the very right of the screen. Next up is Onion Ring. This plant is like if Bowling Bulb wasn't a good plant. It throws rings that bounce off zombies and do more damage the more they bounce off zombies. Once again, it sounds powerful, but it isn't. There's rarely enough zombies for the onion rings to do any major damage. They usually only hit a few zombies, so they can't get more powerful. The next plant is Fancy Flower. He's okay, but once again isn't the best. Every 10 to 20 seconds, he'll shoot a sunbeam that's about as strong as a magnifying glass's light projectile. When it hits a zombie, it produces 25 sun. If there are no zombies in front of it, it'll just produce 25 sun. It's an interesting plant, but its cost is a bit high, and it's really bad at both sun production and attacking because of how slow it is. I also have no idea why it's a fancy flower. Is it because the monocle makes the beam or something? I don't know. Anyway. Our final plant is Zombie Trap. This plant is like a more powerful chomper. This plant bites at zombies in front of it, doing a lot of damage.
That's a lot of damage!
If a zombie goes into the zombie trap, then it will go down and eat the zombie, then disappear. This plant works great with pumpkin and wall plants, just like normal chompers. Now that I've told you how each of these 6 plants work, it's time for my ranking of them. In 6th place, Ambush. He doesn't do a lot of damage and he costs too much. In 5th place, Onion Ring. The zombies group up too much in a way that she can only hit a few and can't do a lot of damage. In 4th place, Fancy Flower. Very slow at attacking and very slow at producing sun. In 3rd place, Prickly-Pult. Slow attack, but decent staller. In 2nd place, Zombie Trap. Pretty good for its cost and does a decent amount of damage. And finally, in 1st place, in my opinion, the best plant that he added that isn't in any other Plants vs. Zombies game. The Freeze Nut. This plant is pretty good because of how well it stalls zombies. It's like an iceberg lettuce plus a walnut. I hope you enjoyed the video. It's one of the rare occasions where I actually spend a lot of time on a video. If you want me to rank anything else like this that's Plants vs. Zombies related, like maybe even ranking my own plants, just let me know.
That's a lot of damage.